Revenge films.
I was working as a regular office employee at a regular company. Given that it was summertime, our department had a refrigerator that anybody could use freely. The employees would put their water bottles and sodas or their lunches and snacks inside the fridge. Everyone could remember where they placed their things, so we didn't need to write our names on anything since nothing had been getting stolen or misplaced. The break room was also supplied with coffee packs and teas from the company, but since it was the summertime, those went untouched and most people were putting their drinks in the fridge. I would get thirsty at work too, but I wasn't a fan of coffee, so normally I would put iced tea in a bottle and bring it to work with me, or I would buy a cold tea at the convenience store and drink it at my desk. But one day, I went to my usual convenience store before work to buy a sandwich for lunch, and I found that they began selling my favorite iced matcha latte. Looks so yummy! It's a little expensive, but why not? I grabbed it along with my sandwich and drank it immediately upon getting to work that day. Much to my surprise, it tasted even better than I had imagined, with a perfect amount of sweetness but enough of the bitterness of the matcha. I was hooked. I went back the next day to buy it again, and I placed it in the office fridge for whenever I wanted something cold to drink. Since everybody else had put their drinks in the fridge and there was nowhere to place it, I put it in the little drawer meant for vegetables. I didn't get to my matcha latte since I had too much work to finish, but the next day I arrived at the office looking forward to having my favorite drink. However, when I looked in the fridge, it wasn't there. Wait a second, I know I bought it, and I know I didn't drink it yesterday. I retraced my day and was pretty confident I had left it there in the vegetable drawer of the fridge. The fridge was being used freely by countless other employees, so maybe somebody else had bought the same drink and accidentally taken mine by mistake. I didn't think much of it, so I went out to buy another one and placed it in the same drawer again. The next day, I found a familiar matcha latte cup empty in the trash can. When I opened the fridge, the full cup that I had placed in there was once again missing. Could this be on purpose? I was pretty sure it couldn't be an accident, but just in case it was an innocent mistake, I decided to write my name big and bold across the cup this time. But then, of course, I found the empty cup with my name on it in the bin again. So this time I decided to ask my colleagues about it. One of my colleagues said, "I'm pretty sure I've seen Karen drinking that matcha latte a lot recently. She took it out of the vegetable drawer in the fridge." Karen? Got it, thanks for letting me know. The drink only costed $2.50, but for someone with a low salary like me, it stung a little bit. I didn't think it was fair for me to have to stop bringing the drink to work though, so I went straight to Karen's desk. "Hey, you've been drinking my matcha latte lately, haven't you?" "Huh? What are you talking about?" "Someone said they saw you take the matcha latte out of the vegetable drawer and drink it." "I had also put my matcha latte in the vegetable drawer. What are you suggesting, that I stole yours?" I'm sure if I took the fingerprints on the cup, it would be one and done, but I couldn't do that just over one cup of juice, and I found myself stuck with nothing to say. After that, in return, I started to get harassed by Karen. One day, my boss, Miss Harrison, came to talk to me.
"You didn't turn in the paperwork that was due a couple of days ago. Didn't I tell you that this would affect your assessment?"
"What? I completed those documents and I placed them on your desk, Miss Harrison."
"I didn't receive anything on my desk. Anyway, this is the merit for you."
But how? I knew that I'd placed those documents well in time for the due date on Miss Harrison's desk, and as I glanced over to Karen, I saw her grinning from ear to ear. I bet that rat took them. After work, I tried to confront Karen about it, but of course she refused to admit any involvement. I looked into her shredder and found my documents there, cut into 1,000,000 pieces, but the office didn't have any security cameras, so there was no way to prove who did it. For what it's worth, our company was extremely strict about due dates on paperwork, and was a huge part of our performance assessment. That's why I was extra careful to always meet my due date, and I couldn't believe that Karen had messed with that. I wanted to get my revenge on her, so I began to think of a plan. At the same time, I didn't know what she would do to me in return, so it was hard to come up with anything. That was when a certain opportunity presented itself to me. Karen's computer had been acting up for a while now, and the company had recently renewed all of her electronics, and she was switched over to a newer laptop. When Karen got her brand new laptop, she was overly excited. That day, knowing she would be in good spirits, I bought another matcha latte and put it in the vegetable drawer in the fridge as usual. Of course, my plan was already in action. That day, I had an off-site meeting with a client in the afternoon, so I had to leave the office. But I knew that Karen would definitely take the opportunity to drink my latte again. I finished my work as usual and went to my boss. "I'll be heading to the SCAT's office now."
"Yes, I hope it goes well.
I reported my work and my departure to her. I left the office. After I wrapped up with the client, I headed back to my office. When I got to my department, I saw Karen standing there in a daze next to her brand new laptop. However, that laptop was covered in a black substance. Next to Karen, our department head was standing there looking less than pleased.
This is a brand new laptop! What on earth were you thinking?
I'm sorry!
As if an apology is going to be enough! This is your fault, so you'll be paying the repair fees out of your pocket!
No, I was tricked! Because the inside of this was... As she started frantically trying to explain herself, she noticed that I returned to the office. How dare you do such a thing? Thanks to you, my laptop is a disaster. You better compensate me for this. What? What do I have to do with this? Don't act dumb with me. You mixed something into my drink, and that's why all this happened. You better take responsibility. What are you saying? I mean, that was my drink? Look closely. I even have my name written on it. Karen's face went pale as she looked again at the matcha latte cup. She must have taken advantage that I wasn't in the office and thought she could wait to destroy the evidence until after she had finished the drink. On the cup, my name was written in permanent marker. Now I can explain! What is there to explain? Lately, somebody has been drinking my drink without any permission, and it was really frustrating me. But I couldn't figure out who, so in order to give a little punishment, I changed the inside of the drink. I had no idea that it was you, Karen. You bastard woman! I'll never forgive you for this! You're going to regret this! Karen lunged at me, but her colleague stopped her and pulled her back. Our department head, who'd been standing there the whole time, finally chimed in.
Yo! Is this true? You've been stealing someone else's belongings all this time?
I was just borrowing a little bit. I wasn't stealing. The moment she said that, she knew that she had messed up. But it was already too late. By the way, the latte that Karen had thrown up all over her new laptop, I'd actually enjoyed the original contents of. I then finagled the lid open just a little, and instead poured in some raw eggs, wasabi, soy sauce, vinegar, mayonnaise, and various other sauces before resealing the container. I then put the plastic lid over it and placed the drink in its usual spot. I had tried to drink myself to be sure, and I also thrown up immediately, so there was no denying its effect. None of the ingredients were meant to be in a drink anyway. After that, Karen kept trying to deny any responsibility, but it was already far too late for her to make any excuses. She was left with the full cost of damages on her shoulders. Of course, the reason for that being that she threw up all over the laptop, getting liquid into the keyboard and breaking it before she could even use it for one day. On top of that, in front of Karen's desk was her colleague's desk, and she caused some damages to their personal belongings as well, which she had to take responsibility for too. The cost of damages added up. In regards to her colleague's personal belongings though, I felt like I had to take some responsibility, so I went to apologize to her with an envelope of cash. She refused it, saying, "I got to see something pretty funny, so it's okay," and laughed it off. I took this opportunity to also report the harassment that Karen had been doing to me, and Karen's bonus was heavily affected. Between that and the cost of damages for the laptop, I found her sobbing as she was left penniless. As a cherry on top, I went to go collect money from her for the matcha lattes that she had drank. "I never should have gotten involved with you." She kept whining, and I hate to admit it, but it really made me feel good. On top of that, I spoke to our department head about the paperwork in the shredder, and he took away the demerit against me, which was a huge relief. All in all, I'm looking forward to having my matcha lattes at the office in peace.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.